Hello everyone, and welcome to this week's edition of the Library Marketing Show. I'm your host, Angela Hursh, and I'm coming to you from the stacks of my library in downtown Cincinnati. I'm the founder and curator of superlibrarymarketing.com, the website where we give tips and tricks for all kinds of library marketing problems, issues, and victories. I'm so glad you could join me today. We're going to do a 10-minute deep dive like we do every week about the things that library marketers are talking about and the things that affect your work. So let's get started. First, with this week's news item from the Library Journal. The link to this article is going to be in the show notes on superlibrarymarketing.com, but it caught my eye because it's about one of my favorite parts of library marketing, and that's data analysis. So in the city of Santa Cruz, California, there was a civil grand jury, which is different than a criminal grand jury. They serve a watchdog purpose for government agencies like the library. And they were looking into the fact that the Santa Cruz Public Library wanted to use this product called Gale Analytics on Demand to do some demographics and work of people who are working and using the library cards, the people in their community, and they were going to use that in a marketing purpose and other purposes for their library. To summarize the article, because it's very long, wonderful, very in-depth, the Santa Cruz Public Library ended up not using Gale Analytics, but this civil grand jury looked into it anyway and said that basically that they shouldn't, because they were concerned that the library wanted to use this data, which was given to them not by library cardholders or patrons, but by a third party. So I don't know if you've ever seen Gale Analytics on Demand. I have. We looked into it a little bit at my library. Also, we haven't used it for the same reasons that Santa Cruz decided not to. I would tell you, as a marketing professional who's not a librarian, to me it was fascinating. I can see where privacy concerns would be a thing. So Gale Analytics on Demand uses Experian, the credit agency, to help build demographic information about people in a neighborhood. So they'll break people in neighborhoods down into clusters. And I think the article mentions that they have 71 different customers. And they do this based on your past purchase, the things that you buy on Amazon and other websites. If you purchased a car, if you buy a house, they use all that data to try to infer who you are and what your future purchasing needs will be. And they put that on that website. So I wanted to talk about this a little bit because I think it's fascinating. I think if you've gone to any for-profit or other conferences for marketing that are not associated with libraries, they'll talk a lot about personas and using data and gathering data about their customers and going out and buying data about their customers from third-party companies. And I know the library world finds that to be a little bit disconcerting because of privacy issues. Makes our lives as library marketers very difficult because we don't always know everything about our cardholders, but at the same time we are trying to balance privacy issues that people in other industries aren't. It makes me think every time I see an article like this about what I know, what I can ask, and what I should just infer, and whether or not those things are the things that I don't know are really holding back my marketing. I think sometimes they are. So I'm curious, you guys read the article, tell me how you balance privacy versus cardholder data knowledge, and where is the line for us? How far should we go in trying to learn about our cardholders, and so that we can market to them better, so that our library can be more effective while really respecting the boundaries of privacy that we have as an organization and as an industry said that we are going to respect for our cardholders. It's a fascinating discussion. The link for that article is going to be in the blog. I would love for you to read it and give me comments. Okay, it's time for reader email. Again, I got lots of emails from people who want to talk about specific things in this show, and I thank everybody for writing in, and you can send me a question at superlibrarymarketing.com. You just click on the library marketing show, and there's a form that you can fill out and send to me. So today's question comes from Lori, who works at the Nicollet Federated Library System in Green Bay, Wisconsin, and she asked to talk about web accessibility for library websites, tips that can be done on any platform, not just on WordPress. Thank you for your question. I spent a lot of time thinking about this. We, at my library, the Public Library of Cincinnati and Hamilton County, we went through a web accessibility audit probably a year and a half, maybe 2 years ago. We're lucky we have 3 developers on staff here at the library, and they were able to do the research and make changes to the library website based on research on accessibility. I don't know all of the things that they did. There was a lot of behind the scenes coding. I know there were things like changing fonts, adding alt text to a lot of photos so that people who are having vision issues can use the vision prompt and the reading prompts on their computer so they know what is on the website page without having to read it. The font thing was a big deal. There were some color issues on our website pages that we ended up changing because the developers learned through their research that those colors were not accessible. So my suggestion, if you're responsible for maintaining the website of your library and you're worried about accessibility, first of all, I applaud you for that. I think more companies need to be worried about that. And I love that the library industry is on the forefront of making sure that we're inclusive and everyone is able to maintain and take care of are able to take advantage of our websites. So there's a lot of research on the internet. I'm actually going to put some links into the show notes about website accessibility and some things that you can do. But the one thing I kept coming across in my research was that you really need, you can do one of 2 things. One, there's actual programs or cookies or just programs that you can put on your website that will scan it and then will give you suggestions about things that you can change to make your library website more accessible. So that's an option. Most of those are very low cost or free. The problem is that they miss things. And so in that case, if you have some budget and you can actually hire a web accessibility expert who can hand audit your website, go through, suggest the changes that you need to make, and then keep track of your website and continue your web accessibility and give you updates periodically about things that you need to change. That would be a really great investment in your library website to make sure that your library stays open and inclusive to everyone. So I will include links for some of the research that I found on website accessibility. Maybe I'll even try to find some web accessibility experts in the Green Bay area for you. That would be cool. But there's probably like a database, and if I find that, I'll also put that in the show notes. If anyone else has gone through this, especially as part of a website rebrand or redesign, my library hasn't done the full redesign yet, and I'm guessing there are a lot of libraries out there that have completely redone their websites, and this is part of it. If you can give some advice to us in the comments, we would really appreciate that. That is something that I think every website and every library can take advantage of. So thank you so much for your questions. Again, if you want to send me a question, you can go to superlibrarymarketing.com, click on the Library Marketing Show, and thank you, Lori, for sending that to me. Finally, for today, we're going to do our kudos. And I bookmarked a story that I saw on the Pima, pardon me if I'm not saying this right, the Pima County Public Library in Tucson, Arizona. One of their local TV stations did some coverage of them this week of a story that I think is really unique. Basically, they had an overdue postcard notice that came back to one of their library branches after 40 years of circulating who knows where, probably being in a bin in a post office somewhere. And it came back. It sounds like a little thing. And I would love to know if there's anyone from the Pima County Library System who watches this show, how you found out about the overdue postcard, and then how you pitched that to the media, because I thought that was pretty brilliant. It's a great way to play on the nostalgia that our residents and our community has for the library, but then also to show how the library has changed over time. They had a great interview with one of the folks who worked at that particular branch, was talking about the changes that have been made to the branch, including the name. She was a diverse voice for the library, and I just thought that was some great positive media coverage. Good job, Pima County. If you have a story that you want to submit for kudos, you can also do it at superlibrarymarketing.com. Just click on the library marketing show, and I would love to see what other places are doing, what kudos I should be giving on the show. That's it for this week. This week's post went up on Monday. If you haven't seen it, go to the website. Like I said, all the show notes are going to contain links, and upcoming events where I'll be speaking and appearing are the Ohio Library Conference at the end of September, and you don't have to be a librarian or a library marketer in Ohio to attend. The price for out of state is very, very similar. And if you come, there's going to be a reception at my library, and I'll get to not only meet you, but I can show you where I work here at the downtown Main Library. And then I'm also going to be at the Library Marketing Communications Conference in St. Louis in November. I'm really hoping to meet a lot of you there. There's going to be more events coming up that I'm going to post on superlibrarymarketing.com. Thank you for joining me. I'll see you next week.